I'd like to introduce our speaker this evening, who's going to be taking us through, or more like helping us have this discussion on breaking into green careers. So welcome everybody to this interesting session. We're we love to have you on board, on tuning in and joining us every time. Now, our speaker this evening is none other than Dr. Francis Kangure, who is a distinguished authority in the field of human resources, bringing over 15 years of exemplary expertise in human resource strategy, corporate leadership and governance, organizational development, communications, and information technology. Dr. Kangure is the founder and director of HR Digital Consulting Limited, a consultancy dedicated to advancing the future of work and spearheading the digital transformation of human resource practices. He concurrently serves as a postdoctoral researcher at Strathmore Business School, where he leads advanced research on emergent trends in workforce management and sustainability. He's renowned for his scholarship and thought leadership. He is recognized as a leading expert on future job skills, green jobs, the green economy, and sustainability frameworks. His commitment to the advancement of HR sector is further demonstrated through his mentorship with Pico Career, an international mentorship initiative based in the US, committed to empowering the next generation of professionals through meaningful guidance. He also has outstanding contributions to the profession, which are widely acknowledged. He is the recipient of numerous accolades, including the prestigious IHRM Innovation Award for groundbreaking research on green jobs and sustainability 2024, the HR Director of the Year Award 2022, and the Independent Research and Development Award 2021 from RTI International, recognizing his pioneering research on sustainable green jobs in Kenya. He is presently pursuing a year-long professional certification training program in applied artificial intelligence, AI. Oh my, wow. That is our speaker this evening. I don't want to add any more from that. I don't want to take away from that. So, Dr. Francis, karibu sana, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much, Skyra. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you very much. And I'm very, very excited to be here this evening and to see all of you. I am happy that we are gaining interest with the sustainability careers. And today we're still going to discuss about green jobs, about our own careers and how we can be more relevant today and tomorrow. I want to start by saying that today we are seeing a lot of changes happening in the world. The changes that we are seeing are very fast, unprecedented, and therefore we always need to position ourselves. Just to give a simple example, we have seen that nowadays everybody is talking about AI. And many people are wondering what will happen to the jobs that we are doing, some of which are repetitive, and artificial intelligence can be able to take up some of those repetitive jobs. When I train a lot of people, and I train so many human resource professionals and leaders, and many people ask me one question that I find very interesting. They ask me, do you think AI is going to replace us in our workplace? I usually tell them AI is not going to replace you, but AI is likely to replace those who do not know how to use it. Okay, because so many things are coming up, so many things are changing. And I know majority of us actually use one form of or the other of the AI tools including the simplest, ChatGPT. Now, what we are going to discuss today is more than AI. It's more important to us for our career, because there are two things that we look at when we think about our career. And this is where I want to start. And this is why I want you to start seeing the relevance of learning about green skills, green jobs, green economy, sustainability. Artificial intelligence, as the name suggests, is actually artificial intelligence. It's artificial capabilities. Nowadays, in human resource management, we have introduced a new concept called HIAI. HIAI stands for Human Intelligence, Artificial Intelligence. As a person, you have innate human intelligence that you have used over the years to work and do what you do. Now, technology has introduced another form of intelligence. We are calling it AI. It's artificial, it's not human. What's the difference? The difference is this artificial intelligence is becoming more clever than human intelligence. And I use the word clever deliberately. There are two terms that we have come across in our life. One is something we call IQ. Somebody with high IQ or intelligence quotient is somebody who has higher mathematical, computational, scientific capabilities. High IQ is measured in terms of what your mind is able to process within the shortest time possible, like people who are able to compute advanced mathematical concepts and give us very quick answers. People who have done advanced statistics, mathematics, econometrics, modeling, whatever it is, coding, they have very high IQ. These are the type of people who used to get first-class honors, for example. Now, with the coming of artificial intelligence, AI is able to perform very high-level computational, statistical, econometric modeling and give us answers within a very short period of time, to the extent that there is no human mind that is able to do that kind of computation. Even the genius are not able to do that, but AI is doing it. On the other hand, we have something we call human intelligence. What is human intelligence? It's ability to make decisions. It's ability to lead others. It's ability to empathize. It's very, very closely related to what we call emotional intelligence. Ability to understand people's feelings, work with people, communicate properly, make decisions, lead, empathize, and so on and so forth. Now, if you look at those two lines of intelligence, human intelligence and artificial intelligence, which jobs are likely to be at risk? Are they the jobs that require human intelligence, emotional intervention, decision-making, and leadership? Or are the jobs that require people with very high IQ, very strong mathematical computation, advanced analytics, and so on? Which jobs are at risk? Think about that. Then at the end of this presentation, we'll revisit. But what I think, if you are a master's student today, you are undertaking your dissertation, your thesis, during our time, we used to look for people who can do some advanced statistics, analyze the data on our behalf, and then we get this data, we interpret, we present our thesis, and so on and so forth. Today, you don't need somebody to analyze data for you. All you need is an AI agent You feed your data and information, you provide the correct prompts, you get your analysis done, and your work is to interpret, make decision, present, and tell us what you have found. So you don't need a statistician. But your human intelligence is required for you to interpret this data. Now, what we are going to present today is about what requires your human intellect, because that is not likely to be replaced by AI. It requires you to do it. It requires you to make decisions. And that is why we are saying we need to position ourselves for the future, because the skills of the future are the skills that cannot be replaced by a machine or a technology like artificial intelligence. So today we are going to talk about breaking into green careers. Okay. What are green jobs? What is the position for various professionals, especially leadership and the human resource professionals? And I believe that majority in this webinar, in this line, either management, HR, and if there is any other professional within this webinar, you will still find your place when we are discussing green jobs. Okay. Now, if you think about green jobs, we say that green jobs are the jobs that promote environmental sustainability and economic resilience. Environmental sustainability. Look at what is happening today. Floods, excessive heat, resulting from climate change, uncontrolled carbonization of our environment, degradation. We have cut down so many trees. We have interfered with the ecosystem. And therefore, green careers come to restore that destruction. Okay? And when we restore the destruction, we restore economic resilience. During this webinar, we will talk about something called circular economy. Anybody who is also working within circular economy is promoting greening of environment, is promoting economic resilience. We'll talk about that further. So green jobs promote environmental sustainability and economic resilience. Number two, these jobs are found in various industries, including energy, people who work in renewable energy, including agriculture, people who support organic agriculture, construction, people who work in green buildings. Nowadays, they are buildings we are calling green because they don't require artificial lighting. They use natural lighting, depending on the materials that have been used and where you have positioned the windows and the doors and so on. Finance, there is something we call green financing. There are projects that are geared to supporting environmentally friendly interventions. For example, if you want to open a company that is promoting solar energy, then you go to a bank and you apply for a loan. One criteria, they'll ask you, do you want to produce energy using diesel or solar or wind or hydro? And green financing chooses those projects that are promoting renewable energy. To give you an example, if you're in agriculture, green financing supports agricultural production that does not destroy the environment, does not introduce more chemicals into the environment that bring destruction. Now, as HR professionals, as leaders, as managers, we are key drivers of green workforce transformation. How do we drive this? The decisions that we make, the leadership that we provide, the information that we share, that is what drives greening our economy and creating sustainability. You learn more about this as we proceed. What is my place in promoting environmental sustainability and circular economy, or economy that is resilient? Okay, so everybody has a place. What I'm doing this evening, I'm driving sustainability by speaking to you, by creating awareness. So teachers, lecturers, trainers, can also fall in the category of green careers. And they are very, very futuristic. The future is looking at people who are able to promote these kinds of careers and information so that we can be able to reverse environmental degradation, climate change, and we bring about climate adaptation and resilience. All right. I want to move to the next slide. And I want to talk more about what we have discussed in the introduction. The green careers, the green jobs, green talents, green skills fall in these categories. One of them is green economy, growth that supports environmental health. For example, green agriculture. And when we talk about green or organic agriculture, we are talking about using products that are organic. For example, fertilizer made out of green hydrogen, instead of fertilizer made out of chemicals that destroy the quality of soil and destroy the environment. Using organic farming, where we use decomposed products and manure through recycling. Okay, so any activity, even green manufacturing, there is something we call green manufacturing. Production of products like green fertilizer, for example, that is also green manufacturing. What is circular economy? It's basically reusing, repurposing, recycling products so that we are not having one single-use items. I know lately you have seen so many hotels with bottles that are reusable. They have reduced plastics because plastics are single-use. Circular economy means that you come up with a product, you create job, you create economic value, you use that product, you again recycle it, and there you are creating jobs, you are creating more value, and you reuse it instead of dumping a product. A single-use item like a plastic is destructive to the environment. So circular economy is the one that promotes repurposing, reusing, and recycling of materials so that they come back to the economy. We produce, reuse, and reuse again. And when we want to dispose these items, there are skills that we call incineration skills. Incineration skills means that you have used this product over and over again and it is no longer reusable. Incineration means compressing these items to reduce the mass so that you can be able to dispose them in a way that they are not going to occupy a large space and in a way that they are not going to destroy the environment. So there is a technology that is being used to reduce the volume of items that we want to dispose if finally we have to dispose something. Okay? And finally, this leads me to another green job and a green career. It's found in corporate social investment. This is what people call corporate social responsibility. Nowadays, we are calling it corporate social investment because every time you are supporting a community to plant trees, okay, to save our forests, to save our rivers, to protect children, okay, whatever you are doing within the community is an investment for the future. I'll give an example of organizations that support children's home. These children are people, they are human beings. They will become workers, they will be leaders, they will work in a green economy, they will support our environment, and they are the future. So basically what you are doing, you are investing in these children. In a circular economy, I've seen some hotels, what they do. When they cook food, and they are not able to sell everything, anything that they cook for that day, they don't store it to be used the following day. They take that food, they donate this food to children's home who consume good, quality, nutritious food. Instead of throwing that food away, that is also another form of recycling. You are not wasting, but you are supporting a corporate social investment. If you are planting trees, for example, you are saving the future. Therefore, you are investing in the community where you are working. So these areas, circular economy, green economy, corporate social investment, are green careers, are the skills of the future. More and more organizations are requiring people who are able to reuse, recycle, okay, work, support green skills, green talents, and invest in the communities where they are working. That is why you have seen there is a law requiring all the listed companies in Kenya, for example, to have an ESG framework. Okay, environmental, social, and governance framework is a requirement because corporate social investment is important for all the businesses in order to create sustainability. Okay, so this is how we understand the green economy. They include circular economy and corporate social investment. Now, according to International Labour Organization, these green jobs preserve and restore environmental quality. We already talked about that. People who work in renewable energy, technicians who install solar or wind turbines, or people who work in geothermal plants or wind projects, okay, hydro projects, that is renewable energy. Sustainability consultants, people who support ESG activities, environmental health and safety activities. People who train others, like what I'm doing today, I'm a consultant in sustainability at this point in time. Okay? Environmental engineers, people who are trained in environmental engineering fields. These are just examples. Human resource managers who are able to recruit green skills, train on green skills, identify green skills, promote work behavior that supports sustainability. Those are examples of green careers. So green jobs reduce emissions, carbon emissions into the environment, conserve resources by reusing, repurposing, recycling. You are conserving resources and you're also promoting innovation. So these are the categories of green jobs and green skills that we are talking about. Now, in your basket of skills, you need green skills. And I think I have done adequate background for you to start analyzing your job and where you can be able to add 1 or 2 skills that can be considered green. Because going forward, employers are looking for people who have green skills, green inclinations, and who can be able to support sustainability in the workplace. All right? Now, more about green skills. If you have a set of skills that can support environmental sustainability, economic sustainability, promote circular economy, if you have skills that can promote environmental health and safety, okay, you are working in an industry and you have skills that can support people to appropriately dispose waste, okay, those are environmental health skills. You are working in a hospital and you understand how to dispose hazardous items and you are able to identify what has not been done appropriately. That's a great skill. Corporate social responsibility, corporate social investment, renewable energy skills. Even ability to conserve energy using energy saving habits, ability to save water and any other raw materials. Okay, those are green skills. And in green skills, we also need soft skills. Now, HR people who work in corporate social investment, you need to develop collaboration skills to work with people so well that you're able to influence their decisions towards sustainability, adaptability, ability to change and change quickly when it is required. Okay, problem solving. People who are able to solve problems within the workplace, those skills are considered green because once you solve problems, you are creating sustainability in the workplace. Okay, problem solving. If people are changing over from diesel-powered equipment like vehicles to electric vehicles, and some people are complaining that they are too expensive or they break down very fast, how do you solve that problem for people to be able to adapt? Those are soft skills that are also important. Technical skills, okay? Life cycle analysis of products and goods, energy management, compliance, and this is compliance with the environmental regulations and the ESG requirement by the government and so on. So this range of skills is what we are calling green skills. It's what we are calling green talents. That is the actual green skills that you might have, the soft skills that support greening of our industries and our companies, and also technical skills, like people who are actually able to analyze materials and understand what they can be able to recycle and what they need to dispose and how they need to dispose those materials appropriately. Now, what are we required to do as leaders? I don't want to talk about HRs only. As managers, as leaders, what is our role in transition? Aligning our company strategies with ESG goals. How do I align? By imparting the right skills, by recruiting people with green talents, okay? People who even practice green talents in their personal life. Somebody who can be able to tell me, yes, in my home, I have a kitchen garden where I use recycled materials to grow vegetables, so that not every time I'm going back to the market to buy, I recycle some material to reproduce them. I reuse some of the items instead of disposing them off. I repurpose some items, okay? All right? So we also need to promote green skills while hiring, training, and also in the organizational culture. When people leave lights on, even when they are not required, when people leave taps running, is there a culture that we can be able to incorporate to everybody within the organization to maintain positive, environmentally friendly, and sustainability culture within the organization? If you're able to promote those values, then that's a skill, that's a green skill. Support continuous learning and upskilling for sustainability. Identifying opportunities within our lives, within our workplace, where we can be able to support and impart knowledge on sustainability and green skills. This is our role for supporting transition. So what do we need and what are the skills that are required for this role? I am just giving some examples. Visionary leadership. Ability to understand where your organization is going and the changes that are happening in the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. And looking at your organization and creating a vision that we need to phase out some practices that are not sustainable, that are destroying the environment, and we need to come up with a training program for everyone to understand what we are going and what we are doing to sustain our organization, to sustain our environment. Visionary, creating a vision for the organization and becoming innovative. Key competencies. We have been talking about change management, stakeholder engagement, strategic thinking. These competencies are not likely to be replaced by the AI. What AI can do is to give you what we call predictive analysis, okay, to show you in the next 5 years, this is how much this organization will be using in terms of diesel, for example, looking at the expansion that we have. Or in the next 5 years, these are the number of employees that will be required in this organization. In the next 5 years, these are the processes that we can be able to automate. And therefore, using your visionary mind and human intelligence, you can be able to say, we are going to cut down on recruitment by this number. We are going to change some systems so that we can be able to save on fuel and conserve the environment. And therefore, we need strategic thinking skills. These are the skills of the future. Any green skill, green talent, green inclination, green culture is a skill of the future. Okay? Ability to build a culture that attracts and retains green talent. Okay? When people come into the organization, how do you build supportive behavior that helps them to inculcate positive sustainability habits within the workplace? Okay? So green skills are not only technical, they are also human skills that we should develop as leaders to be able to support our organization. What can we do? We need to support technical schools. We need to support universities so that we get graduates who already have the right culture and inclination towards sustainability, and they have attained green skills in their school through some activities. Can be corporate social investment, where we partner with schools, universities, okay? Even offering internship and professional development programs for young people. We are creating a future where we will have adequate skills that can support environmental sustainability, people you can be able to bring on board, and who can bring in culture that can change our country, that can change our organizations. I'll give you an example of Kenya. Kenya has very, very dynamic, what we call nationally determined contributions. These are the contributions that every country or many countries who are signatories to Paris Agreement agreed that they are going to reduce this number of greenhouse gas emissions into the environment by 2030. And Kenya is a signatory. So nationally determined contributions are specific targets that every country provides on what they are going to do to reduce greenhouse gas emissions into the environment through use of diesel, through use of chemicals, and so on and so forth. Therefore, when we build young people who understand the environment and how the environment works, and they're able to inculcate the right habits to sustain the environment, people who are able to recycle, people who are not wasteful, people who can repurpose some equipment and reuse them, that is why internships become more relevant. Should not be an exercise of checking the box. Should be an exercise where you are changing somebody's perspective towards work and life. Okay? On government support policies, maybe subsidies that are provided through internship program, especially in public institutions, because these interns sometimes are paid by the government, and also providing training programs that we can be able to support. This is part of green leadership and the green talents that we can be able to offer as HR professionals, as people in charge of organizations, as managers, as corporate social investment experts. Look at where you fall and where you can be able to contribute and support. All right? Now, what are the threats that are shaping the future when we are talking about green energy, green jobs, and the future in our organizations? One, there is a lot of innovation happening in production of clean energy. Clean energy is energy like solar, wind, geothermal, hydro, green hydrogen. Those are sources of energy that, and we have all of them in Kenya. And Kenya actually is a pace setter in renewable energy technologies. We are number 7 in production of geothermal, and in the world, number 7 in production of geothermal. And geothermal is clean energy. It doesn't destroy an environment. It's not like diesel, okay? Okay, so Kenya, our national grid, the amount of energy that we use when you light your bulb at home is over 95% clean, because majority of energy we produce in Kenya is either from geothermal, wind, hydro, and by hydro I mean water, okay, clean hydrogen, and so on. We use very little of diesel to produce power in Kenya, and most of those plants that used to use diesel to produce energy in Kenya has been shut down because we have been able to generate adequate geothermal energy in the country. So that innovation by itself has created jobs, has reduced gas emissions in the environment, and we have a better country as we speak. So we are in a very good path to achieving our nationally determined contributions towards the climate change management. There are also a lot of climate policies that are being developed by countries, and this demand people with skills to implement these policies. If you do not understand these policies and the ecosystem of environmental management and sustainability, then you cannot be able to implement the policies that are being developed. In Kenya, there are so many policies about climate change, about sustainability, environment, governance, sustainability, and so on. Okay, these policies are important, and that is where green laws fall. Green skills are required and green talents. Corporate sustainability and consumer awareness is expanding Okay, the opportunities for green jobs. Consumers nowadays, by the way, are buying products that have been produced in a way that we have not destroyed the environment. And people are asking, where are these products coming from? How have they been produced? People are even more health conscious. They are asking, is this an organic vegetable, organic fruit, and so on? So people are becoming more conscious. So people with skills that can support our consumers to consume goods that are environmentally friendly, there are a lot of opportunities in that area. Everybody across the line, technical, leadership, management, HR, and so on. So these are the trends that are shaping green jobs, innovation in clean energy, climate policies, okay, corporate sustainability, and corporate social investment awareness, consumer awareness, and so on. All right. So now, when we talk about Africa, where is the opportunity for green economy? There is huge unemployment challenge for African young people. In Africa, about 70% of people are below the age of 35 years. So Africa is generally composed of young population. And the green jobs can offer a solution. For example, we are endowed with solar energy. If we are able to produce more solar energy, we can create a lot of jobs along the supply chain. If we implement more sustainability activities, like in Kenya today, there is a very good program by the government. It's called Climate Works, where young people are being involved in management of the environment. Okay, Climate Works is producing some jobs for people in Kenya and the other countries as well. Okay, youth unemployment is huge, and we have so many resources that can create opportunities for young people. All right. The World Bank conducted a research 3, 4, 5 years ago, and they were checking what is the most pressing problem in Africa today. Problem number one is unemployment. It's not hunger, it's not poverty, it's not health, it's not lack of energy solutions, it's actually unemployment. And energy or sustainability opportunities can provide opportunities for young people to find employment. Inclusive growth and climate resilience are key benefits. In Africa, we are able to conserve the environment as we accelerate economic growth, industrialization. Strategic investment in green sectors can accelerate development in African countries. I've just given an example of Kenya. When we have less destruction of the environment, we are able to accelerate economic growth because we will have less problems related with climate change. We will have less diseases if we take care of the environment. If we practice organic agriculture, we will have less incidences of ill health in the country, and the country will have stronger population that is able to work and develop the economy. All those are opportunities in green economy in Africa. Now, in green human resource management, we talk about practices that actually support promotion of green economy and green skills, okay? These are all the processes along the HR life cycle, from recruitment, reward management, and training. We should reward people who exhibit sustainability talents and green talents in the workplace. We should train people on environmental and sustainability awareness. We should develop skills across the workforce. You have seen that green skills cut across all the professionals, all the professions in the workplace. Okay, we should also have enough awareness. Today, I have just mentioned one initiative by the government. I mentioned the nationally determined contributions. So how is your organization contributing to reduction in greenhouse gas emissions? How is your organization contributing to decarbonization? Whether you are in agriculture, whether you are in banking, manufacturing, okay, tourism and hotels, wherever field you are in, how are you supporting decarbonization? Okay, as a leader, as a HR professional, which initiatives can we be able to introduce in the workplace, including key performance indicators? Can we include one of the indicators to support employees to always think about sustainability and the use of resources within the organization. So this diagram basically shows some areas of interventions where our skills are required to produce a society that is environmentally conscious, to create sustainability and conserve our world and our environment. Okay, green human resource management practices. Now, where is the action? Green careers are the future, and we should embrace the shift. You should be able to learn more about green careers and green talents and where your profession fits in. As leaders and HR professionals, we must lead the way in sustainable transformation. Human resource leaders are in charge of people, and the people are the ones who create transformation, okay, in the organization by our retro daily habits and behavior. We can either support the environment or destroy the environment. I usually, when I present to webinars like this one, I give people a scenario. If you think about the world today, we are close to 9 billion people in terms of population. How many people wake up in the morning and go to work? They are productive and engaged in an economic activity, and they are in full-time employment. They are close to 3 billion. So if you think about 3 billion people and what they are doing on daily basis, those little small habits is what has contributed to climate change with all the problems that we are seeing. When you wake up in the morning, you get into your vehicle, you burn fuel, and you go to the workplace. In the workplace, you are using diesel to light the office, or you are using diesel for manufacturing, and you are the same person, so you are still releasing more carbon dioxide into the environment. Then you are served with food, you don't finish, you throw it away, but that food, we used fuel to cook that food. You don't decompose or you reuse that food. That food you carried in a container, and therefore you throw away that container into a dustbin. It finds its way into the rivers and so on. So those are the habits that have actually destroyed the environment. 3 billion people doing something every day. So see the role that we can play as human resource professionals, as leaders, to change the daily habits of people so that we can be able to equip people with skills for thriving in green economy. So as brief as it is, this is what I wanted to discuss today. I welcome some discussions. We have about 10 minutes before we close. So thank you so much for listening to me. I think back to Skylar to check if there are questions on the chat, whether there are points of discussion, clarity, and so on. So thank you so much.
Yes, wow, what an eye-opener. Thank you. I can see Anthony has his hand raised up. So Anthony, maybe you could unmute and talk to us.
Okay, thank you very much, Skylar, and Dr. Francis. Such an impactful session tonight. I always look for such an engagement. I just wanted to refer to a point on the slide before trends shaping green jobs. If Dr. Francis, if you wouldn't mind, we just go back and there's a point. Yes, please.
So which slide is it?
The one before this. Okay. Oh, technical. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I've gotten it. Okay. That's good enough, Dr. Ari.
That's it. Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anthony.
All right. If you have any other, but definitely we've been given something to think about, and even if you are in a position such as management, in whatever capacity that you can, trying to tap into ensuring your space is at least, green and creating those jobs. And we really dive deep into, things like the circular economy and such, and, corporate responsibility. And I think it was definitely, or how I'd put it is definitely eye-opening.
And maybe to add one more point, Skyra.
All right.
Organization can actually create what we call green jobs practices in the workplace. Okay, an organization can be able to come up with the policies for greening your organization, for greening your industry, for greening your workspace. And a policy can be developed and a framework with the specific details and skills that are required for employees. And also these frameworks actually contribute to the positive behavior within the workplace, what is expected in the workplace, for people to be able to promote green skills and the right culture within the organization. Those policies are becoming more and more important and relevant, and we need to have them in our workplace. So that is something also you can be on the lookout for, which is quite important. So I just wanted to add that one more point, Skyra, back to you.
All right, definitely agree. Something definitely think about. And I hope everybody in the chat has been given, food for thought, for sure. And so I believe, everybody, since there aren't any questions, everybody was, going with us and really following on the conversation this evening. And so we're grateful. As you've heard, Dr. Francis is really keen on this topic, and he does, trainings on this topic as well, on green jobs and careers, and also sustainability as well. So if you're looking for someone as well, you know who to call. So again, Dr. Francis, thank you so much. You can see we are making good time. Now, just before we close and we all go our separate ways, I think just allow me. My camera is having an issue, so just allow me to not share my video. So JCVs in its own is having very, very many, not many, but quite a number of engagements that we're inviting you to as attendees, as participants in our weekly webinars. Not only that, in